Hello everyone, and welcome to History Unwound. My name is Alex, and I'm thrilled you're here to join me on this incredible journey. Forget what you remember from history class. The endless dates, the dry names, the black and white photos. This channel is different. We're going to rewind time, not just to look at the past, but to live it. We'll explore the sights, the sounds, the smells, and the stories that shaped our world. Think of it as a time machine for your mind. We're going beyond the textbook to experience history as it truly was. Vibrant, complex, and full of life. So, buckle up, because our first adventure is about to begin, and we're heading back to the very dawn of civilization itself. Our first destination is a land of myth, legend, and groundbreaking innovation. Mesopotamia. You've probably heard it called the cradle of civilization, and for good reason. This is where it all started. Over the next few episodes, we'll dive deep into this fascinating region. We'll walk the streets of the world's first cities with the Sumerians, witness the birth of the first empire under the Akkadians, and understand the revolutionary laws of the Babylonians. We'll meet kings, priests, merchants, and farmers, and uncover the ideas that would echo through millennia. This isn't just a story about ancient people, it's the origin story of our own world. So, where exactly are we going? Picture a vast, sun-drenched landscape in what is now modern-day Iraq and parts of Syria and Turkey. This is Mesopotamia, a Greek name meaning the land between the rivers. Those two life-giving arteries are the Tigris and the Euphrates. For thousands of years, these rivers would flood annually, depositing rich, dark, fertile silt across the plains. While the surrounding areas were often arid and unforgiving, this valley was an oasis. This predictable abundance of water and fertile soil was the magic ingredient. It allowed our ancestors to stop wandering and start planting. This is where the agricultural revolution truly took root, leading to surplus food, permanent settlements, and the birth of the village, which would soon grow into something much, much bigger. The story of Mesopotamia is a sweeping epic spanning thousands of years, but let's start with a high-level overview. The first major players to emerge on this stage were the Sumerians. Around 4500 BCE, they weren't a unified nation, but a collection of fiercely independent city-states like Yoruga and Eru. These weren't just settlements, they were bustling hubs of innovation. The Sumerians gave us the wheel, which revolutionized transport and pottery. And most importantly, they invented writing. It started as simple pictograms to track grain and goods, but evolved into a sophisticated script called cuneiform, pressed into clay tablets. This was a game changer. For the first time, humanity could record laws, literature, and history. At the heart of each Sumerian city stood a massive stepped pyramid called a ziggurat, a temple reaching for the heavens, a physical link between the people and their powerful, often terrifying, gods. For centuries, the Sumerian city-states fought, traded, and coexisted. But around 2334 BCE, a new power rose from the north. A man named Sargon of Akkad, whose origin story is shrouded in legend, did something no one had ever done before. He conquered the Sumerian cities one by one and united them under a single ruler. He created the world's first empire, the Akkadian Empire. This was a monumental shift in human society. Loyalty was no longer just to your city walls or your local king. It was to a centralized government, to an empire. Sargon's reign ushered in an era of standardized measures, a postal service, and a standing army. Although his empire was relatively short-lived, the idea of an empire of a multi-ethnic state ruled from a central capital would resonate throughout history, from Rome to the British Empire. After the Akkadian Empire fell, power once again fragmented. But eventually, a new city rose to prominence, a city whose name still echoes today. Babylon. Under a series of powerful kings, Babylon became the cultural and political center of Mesopotamia. Its most famous ruler was Hammurabi, who took the throne around 1792 BCE. Hammurabi was a brilliant military strategist and administrator. But his most enduring legacy is a set of laws known as the Code of Hammurabi, engraved on a massive stone pillar for all to see. This was one of the first and most complete written legal codes in history. It covered everything from property rights and trade to family law and professional conduct. The famous principle of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, comes from this code. It wasn't about simple revenge. It was about establishing a principle of justice and order that applied to the entire society, a radical idea that laid the groundwork for all future legal systems. So, why does any of this ancient history matter to us today? It matters because the innovations born in Mesopotamia are the very bedrock of our modern world. Every time you write an email, you're using a technology that began with cuneiform on a clay tablet. The 60-second, minute, and 60-minute hour we use to measure time, that's a gift from the Babylonians and their basic number system. Our concepts of written laws, government, and justice trace their roots back to Hammurabi's code. The epic poems and myths, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, were the world's first great works of literature, exploring timeless questions of life, death, and the human condition. The seeds of astronomy, mathematics, and urban planning were all sown in the fertile soil between the Tigris and Euphrates. Mesopotamia isn't just a chapter in a history book. It's the foundational software on which our civilization runs. We've only just scratched the surface of this incredible world. Mesopotamia was a land of kings and scribes, of towering ziggurats and bustling markets, of groundbreaking ideas that forever changed the course of human history. It's the story of how we learned to live together, to build, to write, and to dream of eternity. And our journey is just beginning. In our next episode, we'll travel back to the very beginning. We will walk the streets of Uruk, the world's first true city, and meet its legendary king, Gilgamesh. We'll explore the invention of writing and see firsthand how a simple accounting tool unlocked the power of human imagination. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to History Unwound so you don't miss our next trip back in time. See you then.